photography realism. Hey, I was talking with my lifelong buddy the other day, and he said something extremely contradictory. I pointed out to him that what he said was extremely contradictory. He says he only likes very, very realistic photography. The same thing with painting. He's basically taking a crap all over like Jackson Pollock paintings and, idealism. He's kind of like an extremist when it comes to art, shall we say, and what art is actually meant to do. It's either meant to impel or repel or stop or a combination thereof, which defines true art photography, but in art in general. So he's kind of making a hyperbolic premise that there are only two sorts of art. Basically, there's the really real stuff, which is super realistic, and then there's like, some blind monkey like flinging paint to the canvas. There's like no in between, right? First off, that's an assault and affront to art. It's an assault and affront to photography. He was also highly praising some of the old masters, which obviously their work is great. Whose not photorealism, their painting realism was so good, and they were using optical devices back then too. That's been proven. Also by the number of left-handed people in the paintings, which is inverse to the number of right-handed people, which has never changed throughout history, is proving that they were using optical devices to be so realistic. He's pointing out the fact that their artwork was so realistic you could actually diagnose the diseases of the people in the artwork, which is, there have been some videos and other stuff actually talking about that. It's like, wow, when a painting is so realistic you could actually diagnose the disease someone has from the painting, then that's pretty realistic, right? But then he went on to speak before all of this and wanting to visit a very long bridge in France. Someone's going to tell me what it is. It's a really long bridge. It spans some gorge. I forget what the name of the bridge is. Some Frenchman is going to pop up and tell me what the bridge is. They say, "Éclatant américain." That is the bridge. I don't remember what it is. Talk about the distortion of the bridge, how it had a beautiful bow, and that when he actually traveled to France with his girlfriend, that there was no bow to the bridge. He said it was just straight as an arrow. And that was disappointing. Well, the reason there was distortion, heavy distortion, and he doesn't like distortion either, it's because it's a wide-angle lens. Hello. The reason there was distortion is because obviously it was a fisheye, but that attracted him to want to go see that bridge. All photography is a lie, We think we could take all the distortion out of a lens possible, with Photoshop and Lightroom. And, what do we mean by realistic? I mean, we only see in a narrow spectrum of visible illumination. I mean, if a bee could talk, or some animals could talk, they go, you humans are fucking crazy, That flower over there doesn't look like that at all. What a bee sees, for example, in infrared. Do a bunch of infrared photography. I mean, the bee would say, you humans are effed up. That isn't reality. It's like, oh, sure it is. I mean, I did a white balance check, and, I removed all the distortion. And animals, well, that's not reality. I mean, I don't see that. I mean, what is reality in photography? Everything in photography is a lie, ultimately. I mean, if you get paid to take a picture of someone, you don't go, how could I make that lighting, make this old, wrinkled up broad look even older? No, you're supposed to lie, It's like, this is why a ring light, they call it a wrinkle remover for saggy old broads, right? Oh, that's so sexist! Yeah, but it's true. To remove the wrinkles out of someone's face. All photography is a goddamn lie. If you're paid to take pictures of a hotel or motel, and you're paid to do architectural photography for a real estate listing, accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative. Well, hell yeah. You're not being paid to tell the truth. What is some movie line or something? Some movie, what is it? Yeah, was it A Few Good Men? He said, you don't want the truth? You can't handle the truth. Something else about the truth, some famous movie line. It goes something like, if I wanted truth, I would have hired... Yeah, what movie line was it? It said, if I wanted the facts, I would have hired CNN or something like that. Someone... Yeah, I can't remember what movie it was. And some reporter was being paid. I think it was like Jewel the Nun or something. She ended up telling the truth about this horrible person. And It's like, if I wanted the truth, I would have hired CNN. It's like, no, I want a flowery, I want you to paint me in a good light. And photographer, paint you in a good light, paint you, good light. Same thing in photography. It's all a damn lie. So, my buddy visited this bridge in France expecting to see this beautiful bowed arch because that's what the image he saw from the fisheye lens of that drone camera. It's like, well, that long French bridge is just straight as an arrow. And I could see how that's disappointing, but I mean, he fell in love with image or video. It doesn't matter if it's video or an image. He fell in love with the images of something that were totally unreal. And, that's all photography is. I mean, it's meant, real photography is meant to impel you, Impel, repel, to stop you. I mean, all good photography is that. Otherwise, it's just a goddamn snapshot. Look, there's a homeless bum in the street, click. If you catch it at the right moment, you could be like a broken clock. If you do enough pictures, you could be right twice a day like a broken clock, right? Even a blind squirrel finds an acorn now and then. Everything is about lighting, not everything. Obviously, you can have crap lighting. It can be blurry, grainy. Some of the best shots I've ever seen are, impressionistic, grainy as hell, blurry. I mean, so what? It's about what moves you, If you want to talk about sharpness too, I hate all these assholes and their bullshit talk about sharpness, okay? Is it sharp? Is it sharp? Is that lens sharp? Is it sharp? Really? Is that all that's important to you? What about lighting? What about composition? I don't care if it's sharp. I care about the image. If sharpness is all that mattered, then the only, good knife would be a super sharp one. You could do a lot of damage with a dull. Some of the swords used by the Vikings that were so brutal, the way they worked is that there's some old text written in a rune about warning about the dangers of sharpening your sword too sharp. It causes a premature deterioration of the blade, and also the way it does damage, it's not as effective. It's good to have a halfway sharp sword. This sounds horrible. Halfway sharp sword when you're cutting somebody in half. We're talking about Vikings here, though, right? But there is a hardcore logic and philosophy behind it. It does more damage to have the blade halfway sharp. The same thing, this is going to sound really bad, and in self-defense ammunition, it's penetration. This sounds like sexual joke, right? Penetration. There's a thing called AIT, and it stands for average incapacitation time. You think like the most effective ammunition, and this is going to sound so horrible, but it's so true. Deal with it. If you don't want to listen, go la 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 la. The most effective ammunition for self-defense has a very low AIT, average incapacitation time. People think, well, the best ammunition is something that just go right through you. No. The most effective ammunition is the stuff that literally is designed. It is very, very dull by design. It has a huge hollow point. It is actually cleaved and then pressed back together again. In other words, they cleave the lead into pieces, kind of like slicing a pizza. They press it back together and then they jacket it, in very, very simple layman's terms. They jacket it back together with a copper jacket. So when it actually interacts with tissue, or in this case, gelatin models, okay, ballistics gelatin, let's just think of it that way, right? It immediately dissolves and it just creates a huge cavity, kind of like the mushroom cloud, from an atomic bomb. Yeah, those are analogies, I know, but the point is that sharpness is not everything. I mean, reality, what the hell is wrong? People that bitch about distortion, like in a fisheye, it's like, why do you like a fisheye lens? I don't like the distortion. It's like, are you fucking stupid or something? I mean, that's what I want to say to people like that. It's like, nobody shoots with a fisheye. It's like, nobody ever comes, like, hey, look, here's some pictures of my fisheye. Like, why the hell isn't anybody on a fisheye? I love the hell out of fisheyes. You can actually... I had an argument with some people. They say, well, you can't do portraiture with a fisheye. It's like, oh, the fuck you can't. I've seen some really awesome portraiture with a fisheye. All you have to do is use that distortion to your advantage. You know how the human body is not straight, it has curves on it? I got a curve right here, right? It's made out of pizzas. They're like sexy models, like, yeah, girl, got some curves on her? You use that distortion to your advantage. You use one curve, the distortion of the damn lens, combined with the distortion of the body curves, and if you bend the body the right way, using the correct distortion of the fisheye, yes, a damn fisheye lens can be a beautiful portrait lens. There are examples of those. There are not many because most people don't know how to use a fisheye properly. But it is a tool, and if you don't know how to use a tool, then you're no damn good with that tool. And most people don't know how the hell to use a damn fisheye because they don't know how the hell to use a fisheye. It's like, that's too much distortion, you know? Yeah, it's a lot of distortion. I'm not saying shoot everything with a fisheye, but I'm saying you could actually use that lens as a portrait lens. Really? Yeah, you can. It requires some serious skills, however. Oh my god, there's that evil word, skills! Yes, exactly so. So my buddy fell in love with these distorted images. All photography is a lie, you know? It is about moving someone. It is about making someone see something that they might not have seen before. You know, the people that take the best shots of like local photography are not the people that live there. It's the people that come in and they see things with fresh eyes and nobody else saw it because everybody else is jaded. They'll like take a picture of something awesome and the other person's like, damn, I've been living by that for 10 years. I've never seen it that way before, but this stranger rolled in from out of town. He took a picture of it, and now my eyes are open. We get jaded to the things we see every day, but we have to look at them in a different light, you know? It's kind of like, that's why a macro lens is so cool, because you could, like, take pictures of your belly button fuzz, and it's like, shit, that's pretty cool. Not really. Take pictures of crazy crap in your basement. It's like a different angle of seeing shit, you know? I wonder what this picture would look like if I got on my back and used a macro telephoto. I would take a picture of something that no one's seen before. You know, all photography is a lie. It is about moving people, impel, repel, or stopping. It's the same way fields and forces and magnetism, inertia, and electricity work. Oh my god, human consciousness works exactly the same way that magnetism, forces, and fields and inertia works. Yeah, it does. As above, so below. Heard that one before? Thank you for watching. If you like this video, drop a buck or two. Tell me to jump off a cliff or send me a cake made out of like red velvet. Ooh, yeah. Oh my god. You ever had a red velvet cake? Ooh. Especially a red velvet cupcake. Oh, yeah.